like the founders and startups we feature here, Team ET Now and Team Startup Central loves constructive feedback. Don't shy. Tell us exactly what's wrong with us, how we can improve. You can also compliment us when you think we deserve it. Write to us, pitch to us. Who knows, maybe one day you'll be a part of the show. Our email address right on top, suc@etnow.tv. And I'm also on Twitter, so you can reach out to me directly. Now, you know, from the outside, everything looks so rosy, everything looks like perfect, but there are a lot of startups that don't survive. There are a lot of startups that almost go down fighting till they find a new lease of life. Instamojo is one of them. Instamojo was facing a massive fund crisis in 2016, was looking at the prospect of maybe shutting down till it managed to get some funds, about $4 million from a Japanese company. I'm going to be talking about that and the future of Instamojo with the founder, Sampath, who's now joining us right here on Startup Central. Incidentally, Sampath has a very cool skill, one that I hope to one day acquire. That is, he can read a book in 67 hours, a page in 1.5 minutes. So before I go on to the success of Instamojo, Sampath, you know, share with the viewers of ET Now, how on earth do you read a book in 67 hours, and do you actually absorb it, comprehend it?
Glad to be in the show. I think I can. I had quite a fast reading speed, so I can read almost like 200 to 50 words a minute, which is approximately the amount of length of a page and words are. And if I calculate that same math, which is about 250 pages a book, and the math shows that you can finish a book in 6 to 7 hours, which is approximately 1 hour a day, which is a book a week, and hence 4 books a month.
So I tell you what, Sampath, next time before you come for an interview, I'm going to give you a book. You have to read it in 6 to 7 hours, and then we will quiz you on live television.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Okay, so we have a deal. Now let's talk about your baby, Instamojo. You know, like I was saying, you almost, you actually fought the clutches of death and made a rebound. You know, it was in 2017, you got $4 million. The rest is history. You want to share a bit about that experience, because you know, I think that is so important for all the people out there watching, because they shouldn't give up, they must not give up, and it happens to other people, failures.
Well, story is very simple. I obviously overestimated a lot of stuff, as every other entrepreneur does, and so did we, right? Fortunately for us, we had by then built a platform which was loved by our customers and users. Unfortunately, there was a bit of cash crunch, which we kind of dealt with by talking to a few new investors. NEPay happened to be one of the few investors who joined and helped us out in 2017. And as you mentioned earlier, the rest is history. One of the most important part that we took away from that adventure, if I may call it that, is that a perseverance pays over a long period of time. Secondly, I think you have to be realistic about your business, about your customers, and about the value proposition. There is a quote that I keep using, that is, biggest problem happens when a magician starts believing in his own trick. As long as we know what we are doing, and as long as we see that reflecting in our balance sheets, I think we are good to go. So yeah.
The best trick is when the magician believes his own trick, right? That's what you're saying. It's a
I
beautiful
think the
quote,
problem
actually.
starts. What I mean to say is, problem starts when a magician starts believing in his own trick.
Okay. So Sampath, now tell me, now that you've learned that, it can be so easy, and it's a basic human tendency, right, to fall for it again. So is there something that you tell yourself every now and then, especially now that the rest is history and Instamojo is doing so damn well?
Well, I think the thumb rule of every venture-backed business model is, you got to have at least 12 to 18 months of cash in the balance sheet, if not more, right? And that's what we look at, right? And then you kind of balance out the growth part of it. Like, we have been doubling our business year over year for the last 2 3 years, right? And now, if I want to triple my business or grow 5 times, 10 times, which I've grown in the first few years of a business, that becomes tricky. So if I have to double my business in the next 12 months, what is the amount of capital do I require to do so? And does the balance sheet allow me to do so or not? If it doesn't, you know what, temper your growth. Growing 60%, 80% over is not bad as long as you survive. Because as I say, the first KRA for every entrepreneur is to survive. If you don't survive, there is no war. You are lost any which ways. So that's you balance growth and profitability and cash flow and balance sheet at the same time. And I don't believe that's a tough ask from any entrepreneur, from a venture capitalist, any which ways.
Had 5 funding rounds. You raised $10 million to date. You are some of the best investors out there that you can boast of. Whether it's a Rajan Anandan or a Bloom or a Kalari Capital, just to name a few of them. Tell us now, what is InstaMojo up to?
I think just to kind of give you some backstory about it, I think a lot of things changed in the last 2, 3 years. We have obviously been hearing the narrative about internet is going to change a lot for day-to-day users, which it did for consumers per se. But a lot did not happen for a day-to-day business person, and predominantly people who are solopreneurs, self-dependent entrepreneurs who are doing it for their own will and own gut feel, right? Obviously we built a platform for them. Now internet in the last 3, 4 years, especially with internet becoming cheaper, with mobile accessibility happening, people have gotten used to using internet to basically start, manage and grow their business. Now when you think about this, there has to be a platform catering to these solopreneurs, individuals who are starting their business on the internet using social media to create a sales channel, right? And when we focused on that, we realized that there is no one platform that exists which helps them to start, sell, manage, and grow their business. Effectively, we ended up creating this one-stop shop with a very simple user experience and making it extremely affordable for a day-to-day merchant and a business owner to kind of start her journey. So today on InstaMojo, obviously we have been known as a payments platform, but today on InstaMojo you can not only collect payments in 2 minutes with a bank account and phone number, but also you can get your free online store for showcasing your products. You can get lending, you can do logistics, shipping of products from point A to point B, and so forth, right? So that is what has happened, right? Going in the future, obviously, we'll do more of the same. Just to give you some example, in the last 6, 7 years of our journey, we have accrued over 1 million merchant base. 1 million merchant. I think that makes us one of the largest MSME platform in the country. We believe in 2020 we should add another million. So what took us about 6, 7 years to add 1 million, we are expecting that to add almost the same amount in 1 year. And this is predominantly happening because of accessibility of internet, consumerization of B2B technology. Platform like us exist, which is useful for anybody who knows how to use a Facebook or a TikTok, right? You can use InstaMojo. It's not as complicated as you imagine. So because of those things, that I believe what happened for the last 10 years for consumers will happen for the next decade for businesses. They will look at internet and they change their lifestyle and their business using internet, and platforms like us will exist to cater to the need.
So what do you do with partners like, let's say, an Urban Ladder, Dunzo, Alt News? What do you do exactly for them?
So that's a very interesting example. Obviously, we all know what Dunzo does. So Dunzo uses us to basically, when you are ordering something on the app and you want to pay at the door, right? And you don't want to use you are not comfortable using a digital mode, right? So the delivery partner can send him a payment link at the door, and she can basically then click the link in front of him and pay without anything, because you're doing almost an in-person payment, right? However, our major customer base are individual merchants, individual sellers across tier 2 and tier 3 markets of India, who don't have access to this amount of technology in a very simple, affordable manner. I think that is the biggest gap we are fulfilling in the market. And this is, we believe, Nayantara, is a new revolution that has started, because as I mentioned earlier, what Flipkarts and Amazons and Facebooks did for consumers, there has to be a business who rethink the same way, that how will the next generation of business owners will use internet to grow their business. I think that is the space we want to kind of capture. And with a database of 1 million merchant, and expecting another million to be added in the next 12 months, we have a huge room to fulfill. And we believe in the next 3 to 5 years, we can add 10 million merchants and be possibly the largest MSME platform in India.
Okay, and with that, Sampath, on a very optimistic note, here's wishing you all the very best, and here's a happy new year to you and the entire team at InstaMojo from all of us.
Thank you so much, and same to you and the entire ET team as well.
And don't forget, we got a challenge coming up. It's a deal. I'm going to get you back with that challenge.